Well, it's officially official. I just declared for the 2027 WNBA draft in April. Join me in this journey.
Enes Kanter Freedom decided he's going to throw his hat into the WNBA.
The WNBA does not ban men who identify as women right now from playing in the league.
He would dominate the WNBA without batting an eyelash.
The number one prospect in the history of the WNBA.
Well,
Oh my goodness. And this is what it's come down to. This is exactly where we start. We've got right in our back pocket. We already know who is going to be the number one draft pick come 2027. It's not going to be a hot shot out of college. It's not going to be a 19-year-old overseas player. No, 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 no. I give you one Enes Freedom Kanter. Forget about what he did with the Utah Jazz. Forget about the cup of coffee with OKC or my New York Knicks or Portland or Boston. Forget about him being a Nike Hoop Summit player or a FIBA Europe under 18 champion. Forget about him being a WWE 24/7 champ. Forget about the 11 points a game, the 7 rebounds, because when he steps foot on the WNBA floor next season and he steps foot on the court, he's going to average 50, 25, 16, 5, and 10. That's how good this player. And I'll tell you, whatever team nabs him, they're going to win a championship. You want to talk about genius of genius moves. I'm telling you right now, let this man cook. Let Kanter play. What a genius friggin' move. That's where we start a Man Up Monday edition of On Cue. Rich Quinones here. By the way, we had a little caveat to that. Not only is it a Man Up Monday because you got to man up for anything you said over the weekend, that's goofy talk, but it's also a Mentioso Manolo Lunas Locador Radio Man Up Monday powered by our good friends over at Fresh Roasted Coffee. Rich Quinones here. Get in on the conversation. Get in early. Get in often. We're live on YouTube. We're live on multiple Odyssey, Spotify, Amazon, SR 1029 FM. The Game. Get in, as I said, at Rich Q on Q, X and IG. Let me hear from you guys. Let's have a little fun. Yesterday, unbelievable topic of conversation, unbelievable banter. We went on for about 2+ hours. You guys were phenomenal. Let's keep that energy going on this Monday. But I give you Kanter. I give you, and by the way, this to me is a brilliant move. This is a brilliant move because what this now will show you, now you put your money where your mouth is if you are the WNBA. So now you've got a former NBA player turned human rights activist, played 11 seasons in the league at center, and now given the W stance on promoting what? Inclusivity? The guidelines don't clearly address eligibility for gender identity in the WNBA. So here we go. Genius. The irony or an ironical. To me, it's friggin' comical. Now, if you're the WNBA, I got news for you, W. You backed yourself in this friggin' corner. Now figure out a way to get the hell out. Because if not, if you don't allow him to declare for the draft, I got more news for you. There's a lawsuit. Discrimination. Here we go. This is the shitstorm that the WNBA created. They absolutely created this. They've opened up Pandora's box. And now all of a sudden, hey man, let freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Here we go. We know at the end of the day, all jokes aside, the transgender rights issue has not been directly addressed by the league. But I got news for you. It is a long way off before it's going to get shut down anytime soon. And I know Humperdick is supposed to talk about it next week. This, I'm telling you, the league, folks, enjoy it because as bad as this is, a mockery as this is, just an absolutely goofiness with this league, it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's basically what he is doing now, all jokes aside, he's basically proving how much of a joke it would be to allow certain athletes in this league because it would be a competitive advantage. And I think we've drummed that. We've hit that nail. Period. Like constantly. So it's like now you get to this situation where if you are the league, you already know you're dealing with a firestorm. You're dealing with nonsense. And the league, it's been, 24 hours now, and they still haven't come out with anything regarding Carrington. Go friggin' figure. Go figure. Nothing has come about with Carrington, which I posted a couple videos and a couple shorts on it, which will also continue that conversation. Because like I said, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you. It's just, I don't even know. I just don't even know sometimes what people think, what the line of thinking is, like what goes through somebody's mind. Do you realize because of this little joke, this little facade that Kanter is playing, you are going to have people that actually think this is really serious? I mean, think about it. You're going to have people that are going to come out. It's just to prove the hypocrisy, okay? Because this move is basically trying to expose everybody from this friggin' league and the friggin' clownish left-wing sports media. Because now they have to acknowledge this player's announcement. Do you know the rat ship talking about this game the other day, talking about the foul on Carrington? I joked yesterday on the air. I literally joked yesterday on the air with you guys that somehow Cunningham was going to get blamed for the foul. If you remember. I said yesterday she's going to get blamed for the foul. And what does the rat ship do? They basically blamed her for the foul. They absolutely blamed her for the foul. And now, again, you've got these talking heads. You've got these talking heads that they allowed to go. They need to hide. They need to put Stacey Dales on these shows to check these jackasses. To check them. Monica McNuts, what are you doing? I'm not even going to give the audio clip any play today. I refuse to. But it shows you how far gone, how far off the beaten path we are. I mean, it's just on another level of just, I don't even want to call it, it's lunacy, it's craziness. And yeah, I know exactly why Kanter's doing this. And some will really look at this. Yes, I understand it's a joke, but it's to prove a serious point. Who belongs in this league and who doesn't? And the WNBA allowed for this nonsense to happen. Period. They've allowed it to happen because you're always going to get both sides of the argument. And now all of a sudden it catapults a debate around transgender women in sports into the spotlight. I told you my stance last week. Do whatever the hell you want to do with your body as long as you're not harming anyone. But there's a place and a time. And in this league, I'm sorry, it would give said player such a competitive and unfair advantage. And to me, that's not what I want. That's not what I want to see. That's not what I'm going to support. It's just sports talk. I'm giving you a sports opinion on it. And this all stems from Cunningham's comments. From Cunningham's comments. So if you look at the rules right now in the CBA, the WNBA operates under a collective bargaining agreement. And that was a very tough deal that the league and the Players Association, they really had to fight through that, right? It always, anytime you deal with collective bargaining agreements, contract stipulations, verbiage, wording, it can be an extremely contentious, a journey, right? Negotiations, no one ever walks away happy. If two people kind of walk away satisfied, then that means it was a pretty damn good negotiation, right? You got a little bit of what you want, I got a little bit of what I want. But you're trying to talk about, forget about setting rules on player salary, caps, moral clauses, revenue sharing, all this other stuff. The other issue is the player eligibility. The CBA states only players who are women are eligible to play in the WNBA. Now, again, this league has dropped the ball, no pun intended, from the start. So Humperdinck, the commissioner, has yet to comment publicly. And, oh, by the way, the league as an entity in its entirety has not yet to comment publicly since Sophie Cunningham's comments. But now Humperdinck decides, I'm not going to go in front of the microphone because that means people will ask questions and I can't control the narrative. So she sends a memo to teams last week saying the matter is going to be discussed at an upcoming prearranged meeting with team presidents. Okay. She went on in the memo, quote, always approach this topic thoughtfully, respectfully, and in alignment with the longstanding values of the league. Well, you can throw that last part out the window because there's no values within this league. It's a friggin' free-for-all. It's Thunderdome. It's the wild, wild west. There's no rhyme or reason to the WNBA. Then she added in the memo, because remember, easy to type up and flush it out, our player eligibility rules, unlike the eligibility rules of some other leagues and governing bodies, are collectively bargained, preserving the integrity of the game and ensuring fair competition will always remain among the league's highest priorities. Now, that's all well and good. That's the friggin' yearbook answer. That's the political answer. But again, what's missing? Devil is always in the details. The devil is always in the details. So the lack of detail in this league, when we're talking about eligibility criteria, now it's kind of been brought up to light by Let Freedom Ring. And basically, if you go to his IG, it's simply declaring who you are is all that's required. Then I meet every single requirement necessary to compete in the WNBA. He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. Now what's the league going to do? What's the league going to do? Can't play favorites here. You're going to discriminate against them? Then you're going to open up what? A major litigation lawsuit? I'm telling you, again, this league has just, it's dropped the ball from the get-go. Kanter won't play. The league will have a come-to-Jesus moment before they draft. But they're going to continue to take, again, these hits. Amy, I don't think it's about money. Remember now, he played in the NBA. These guys aren't strapped for cash. It's not like a white who had a cup of coffee in the league. I don't think it's about money. I think this is basically he's going out and he's trying to prove a point. That's exactly what I believe. That's exactly what I believe this is. He's making a point. He's trying to show you the lunacy of it all. This guy has made, I just pulled it up for those that think it's money. This guy has made $106.3 million in 11 NBA seasons, an 11-season NBA career. So his time in the NBA, not even a cup of coffee. Remember, the Knicks basically, I think, paid him 20-something on million. He's made $100 million. He ain't strapped for cash. He can eat. He's fine. This is not about money. This is not about the PR. This is about to show how just foolishness they've opened up Pandora's box. Pete throwing the movie quotes. I got you. You're throwing the movie quotes. TJ chimes in. Crazy league. Beyond crazy. Makes no sense. It's not a joke by Kanter. It's calling out the hypocrisy and delusion being called out the way I did with CC. So get out of here with your CC stuff. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing. It's exactly what he's doing. This is why, for those that can't stand Humperdinck, and I'm one of them, who can't stand this commissioner, her time's done. It's done. It's just a matter of time. They're not going to renew the contract. There's not going to be a contract extension. You just can ill afford. You just can't. You just can't. Anyone who's got any type of sound judgment would sit there and say, I can't win anymore. This is it. I'm done. I mean, it is 24 hours later, folks. 24 hours later. 24 hours later. And by the way, how come we haven't heard anything about this friggin' dirty player, Carrington, who fits the bill because that's her body of work, almost decapitating Cunningham? We haven't heard anything about this. We haven't heard about a possible suspension. Oh, we haven't heard anything remotely regards to the tweet, which, yesterday, and I posted a video today. Oh my God, did I ruffle the friggin' feathers today from the trolls out there? Why? Because we speak the truth? Because we have conversations that others refuse to have? My whole issue The foul was the foul. It was a flagrant 2. Ejected, that's fine. It was after the fact to double down on the goofiness and the behavior. Tweeting what she tweeted. And the league has said nothing. But the league turned around 5 minutes after Brondello mentioned the phrase protected species, and this woman got suspended. You think they're going to have a comment about Kanter? You think they're going to open up the books to that? Absolutely no. It's a genius friggin' move. It's a genius move. Sometimes you just got to wake up and you say enough is enough. The nonsense, the BS, the hypocrisy, the double standard, the friggin' circus needs to leave town. It has to end. It is genius. It is absolutely genius that someone had the guts to go up there, put themselves out there, be vulnerable in that regard, even try to make light of it, but know deep down he is trying to make a point. He is standing on his convictions. And I applaud that because, again, at the end of the day, this league is a shit show. It is a shit show. And I got news for you, too. If you're talking about, again, the inclusion, right? And you're talking about, again, the opportunity to let everyone, right? Everyone's talking about the come to Jesus moment, right? We're a melting pot. Everyone's invited. Then guess what? Draft them. Draft them. Go ahead. This league, besides the hate, besides the nonsense from these players and how the league is run and just the hypocrisy from these head coaches on down and the blatant disregard for player safety and the horrible officiating. Man, you know what? Some of these players, if you don't want to get along, get the frig out of the league, man. Get out of the league. Go play somewhere else. You're not wanted. You're going to have a certain style. You're going to go on social, and you're going to basically try to be that shit stir, upset the apple cart, and then play the victim, be the Karen, be the martyr, and then when you're called out on it, again, scream what? Get out of the league. Go. You want to act like a jerk? You want to be ignorant? And then you want to go on social media and you're putting yourself out there? Hell, I posted a 5-minute video from yesterday's show. And you want to believe the broad stroke that's being painted on me. You know what? Like I said, the guys that try to do the I gotcha, that friggin' line wraps 10 blocks around the friggin' corner. Get out of here with that stuff. You know exactly what I said yesterday was 100% true. But nobody wants to talk about that because if the roles were reversed and Cunningham fouls her the way she does, she deserves to be suspended. That's a flagrant 2. Cunningham deserves to be ejected. She should be suspended. But then if she's goofy enough to go and tweet what? Black privilege and put it out there in social media and paint that picture against the referees, the league in its entirety, then suspend her ass and ban her. Because you know for a fact if she did that, she would have got banned for life. But there's no news on Carrington. None. They pick and they choose. And then people want to know why other people or talking heads or content creators or sports show hosts, they get so animated, they get so annoyed. Because again, the madness has to end. You have to call out people. You have to call out the BS. Clean it up. Cleaner. This league is not going to last. 30-year run, great. It was different back then. It's not sustainable. It's trending down. It's a mockery. It's muck. It really is. You keep, walking through the swamp. God knows what the hell you're going to get on the bottom of your shoe. That's what this league is right now. Disgrace. Kanter's forcing an outcome. I've been saying this all year in the chats. It's time to stop this nonsense. Michael, you are 100% agree. You're 100% in agreement. 100%. 100%. It's got to end. It has to end for sanity's sake, for sports' sake. It really does. Sports talk, politics, it is all speculation. It is all about what ifs. It's all about, hey, I wonder if this would happen, if he dropped it, if he caught it, if he made it. Hey, I wonder if this would happen if he was never assassinated. Would have been a great president or this or that if he never got elected. That's life. We conversate like that on a friggin' daily. But you have to have those types of conversations meshed in to the topic of discussion. People don't like when others speak truths. They don't like when it doesn't fit their narrative, when they want to push their own agenda. The league has pushed a certain narrative. The league wants you to believe what you want to believe, right? The league is saying, this is what we believe, you have to believe it. And the media has done a horrible job of covering the league objectively. It's a disgrace that you have former players and talking heads on these networks that are condoning the actions of Stephanie White, that are condoning the actions of Carrington. You've got to be effing kidding me. But if you put someone on that panel that's going to check their asses, now we got a conversation. But they won't do that because nobody has the guts. You know why? Because people don't like to get called out. You don't, just because you're the loudest doesn't mean you're the smartest. Yes, I get, passionate on the air. The voice, I might raise it here and there. But I try to be very fair in what I'm presenting to you guys. And yesterday, it was alarming how many people were throwing out words like karma and deserved and here we go. You know why she did what she did? Because she knows she can get away with it. You know why she tweeted what she tweeted? Because she knows there's going to be no backlash. There's not going to be a punishment. Which again, proves my theory, proves my point about this league and how they view this Indiana Fever franchise and some of these players. But I love the fact that Kanter did what he did. Because all this other nonsense, we're about to put it to bed. We're going to really see what this league thinks. We are going to see if this league really wants to open up friggin' Pandora's box. Then all of a sudden, you're going to invite 25 ex-NBAers to play in this league and dominate. And then see how fast you have a WNBA. See how fast. These coaches, they all are agenda-driven. It's not even about the ego. They pick and choose. They placate, the favoritism. When I rewatched yesterday's show and I looked back at some of the comments and then I went back and I listened to what White said afterwards, it still baffles me. Today, 48 hours later, 2 days later, that this woman's not fired. And don't give me the nonsense. Well, who you gonna, man, you've got coaching staff that know. Yeah, and quite frankly, I don't even think you need a coach the rest of the way. I don't believe this team's going to do anything. But point is, you've got to trim the fat. You've got to trim the fat. This league doesn't know how to do that. This league invites toxic culture. This league invites nastiness. This league invites divisiveness. They almost thrive off the element of racism, which is so rampant in this league. It's not even about some of these goofball fans, which I'll never condone. But you have a league where players now are really being targeted. You have a league where players are basically knocking other players on their ass. Why? Because maybe they don't like what they believe in. Maybe they don't like the way they look, how they act, what they dress, what they wear, how they carry themselves. And again, I can't think like these players. I'm not privy to it. I'm not in their minds. I don't cover this league on a daily basis, but I damn well have covered sports for years, and I damn well know the dynamics of locker rooms. And I know how players can be vindictive. And I know how players can shun others and shut you out, maybe for your philosophical beliefs, your political beliefs, your social beliefs. But at the end of the day, especially in football, 11 on 11 in the trenches, guess what? You put all that crap to rest. You don't even worry about that when you line up. You just go hit. You play together as a unit. No one's going to block any less because the tackle thinks a certain way. Nobody's going to block any less on a pass play because they don't like what the quarterback believes in socially. No, but in this league, you throw that all out the window. It's petty. It's insecurity. It's jealousy. Some players get shine in this league. Others don't. Deal with it. Live with it. And then make the best of what you've been handed out. Half the time, you watch this league and some of the players, doing the dirtiest crap are the least talented ones because they realize this is the only way we can get you. Yes. Are there favorites in this league? Yes. Absolutely. Do the refs call these games a certain way? 100%. 100% they do. They do. We know that. There's no denying it. There are bad calls in the NBA and baseball and NFL. We see it. We don't need to bang that drum on a Monday. But it's gotten to the point where you guys, just like myself, you're so adamant, you're so passionate, you want to watch these games, you want to watch these girls, you want to watch the league, you want to support it. You know, maybe you gamble on it, maybe you bet on it, maybe you want to put some money in your back pocket. You're a hoops fan, a diehard hoops fan like I am. Can we just get some transparency? Can we please get some accountability? It's lacking. It is lacking. You have to hold the commissioner accountable. The commissioner needs to hold GMs accountable. GMs need to hold the head coaches accountable. The head coach needs to hold his or her players accountable, and the players have to hold themselves accountable. They have to. It's going to get to the point, like I said, after the season, you deal with the next couple weeks, and you go in the off season. It's just, you can't allow a player to foul a player like that and then tweet what she does, and there's zero. There's just utter silence and crickets from the league. They haven't come out. They haven't condoned it. They haven't come out. They haven't suspended her. They haven't come out and given her a slap on the wrist, a friggin' $1,000 fine, which at the end of the day is absolutely nothing. They don't want to get out in front of things. But I got news for you. The Kanter stuff, they're going to have to get out in front of this. It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. This now, the box, it's open. Pandora's box, it's open. It doesn't matter what they say. They've got one narrative that they're always going to push, but now we're going to put it to the test. And I don't care if this guy stunk in the NBA. He's going to come in, and if this actually came to fruition, he's going to dominate. And I'm just going to laugh. I really am. I really am. Like, at first, I kind of chuckle with it, but then I understand the madness. Like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. We're calling you out. We're calling your bluff. We're calling your bluff. If it's really inclusive and it's open, and this is how he's going to identify is, then he should be drafted and allowed to play. Other than that, I don't want to hear a word. I don't want to hear a peep. I don't. And the league, you would think they would come right out and say, no, they can't, because you have to go to the CBA. You got to look at the verbiage. And because they never, it's like, you know, someone who's getting up there in age and older, and maybe, God forbid, they get a little sick, and they're like, tomorrow I'll worry about the will. Tomorrow I'll worry about the will. And they never formulate a will. And then they pass on, and it's sad, and then it just leaves an absolute mess for the family. I know one's very extreme, but my point is, this league has never put it in writing. They've never made it clear. It was just, you know, fly by the seat of your pants. Fly by the seat of your pants. And the problem is, it's bad enough you've got commissioners that hide, that don't want to face the music. It's bad enough you got coaches that are almost glorifying former players, knocking their current players on their ass, which I'm going to get into in a couple moments. But now you've got a very hot topic because a player that's very prominent said what she said, doubled down. An ESPN article came out. The pacifist activists, fake-ass reporters try to play the I gotcha with her. She wasn't buying it. She doubled down, doubled back, books coming out and said, friggin' deal with it. And now you've got an NBA player saying, you know what? I'm going to put that theory to the test. I'm going to put that theory to the test, and I'm going to see. I'm going to see what this league's really about, because if I'm not playing, I'm suing. Or this league will come out and fix the CBA. It's going to cost a lot of money, and that's going to throw a you-know-what into the you-know-what. This, to me, is starting the absolute end of this league. Absolute, because there's no coming back from this, folks. There's none. Kenny chimes in, mostly NBA owners owning the teams. You really believe anyone but Adam Silver calls the shots? 42% equity. But I also believe this. I also believe that some of these owners don't care. They just want to see the bottom line. They're looking at the P&L. That's it. JS, he's trying to shame the WNBA. Yes. Future. Oh, man, he's going to get all the endorsements. He's going to get all the endorsements, right? He's going to get all these endorsements. Man, it's just... I still am just really surprised that other players or former players haven't really thought about this. Because it's not written in stone. Pete's pulling out RuPaul going number 1. What's the odds on that? Go woke, go broke. Come on, man, you guys. Oh, man. Unbelievable. It was a 30-year exclusive cult until CC came along. Oh, man. Listen, I'll say that they never expected the boom, right? They just didn't. They never planned for it, JS. They just had no way to prepare for it. But we've seen, look, Miles is phenomenal. And oh, by the way, one more time, I'm just going to throw it out there on the record. It is a 2-horse race in the MVP race. It's Wilson and it's Miles. You can wave buckets, bye-bye. Stewart, bye-bye. You can wave Caitlin Clark, bye-bye. Mitchell, bye-bye. It's a 2-horse race. I don't want to hear any more about buckets. I don't. Unadulterated, what's going on, brother? Peace right back at you. Hope Enes takes them to task, make them stand on their word and draft him or admit to reality that the rest of the world knows. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And it's funny, too, because I'm waiting for some of the, I call them the goofy trolls, who've been pretty quiet after yesterday's show. A couple on social. A couple on social. But, I'm waiting for them to kind of weigh in. Because they've been absolutely silent, because yesterday I think what happened is they got checked. They got checked at the door by you guys and myself. They didn't like it. If you are going to play with the dogs, you want to play with the big dogs or you want to get off the porch. So what they're basically doing right now, the WNBA, it'll never happen in another league. It just will never happen. I mean, the lesson to learn from some of these other female sports leagues out there, whether it's lacrosse, field hockey, whether it's soccer, whether it's basketball, whether it's lower tier, to not even follow that model. Because in the end, you're going to pay the ultimate price. You're going to pay the ultimate price. They have no idea collectively what they're doing. Again, I almost equate it to, you guys work a job, whatever it is. Maybe it's a 9-to-5 job. I don't know. But you guys work. And then every day, you're getting different direction, which, okay, comes with the territory. But there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just do it like this, do it like that. It constantly changes. Eventually, you're like, what the hell's going on, man? Do we have any leadership? Do we have any leadership from the top? Is anyone paying attention? Does anyone care? And no one cares. This is why I think it's paramount. I believe it's absolutely paramount that Adam Silver steps in. He makes the call once again, and he tells Humperdinck, you need to suspend this girl. You also need to get in front of a friggin' microphone and talk about that tweet. That is a bad look. In essence, the fact that you are not doing anything tells me that you're allowing this kind of behavior. You're complicit to it. You're advocating it. That's what you're doing. That is exactly what you're doing. DB chimes in. This is another DB on X. Donnie Boy, how in the world hasn't she been replaced? It's a miracle beyond anyone's imagination. Michael chimes in, Q, the one thing I'll say is she does make the league a lot of money. The only person they replace her with is someone who can make them more money. Loving the show as always. Fair. Jay says, Q, what's lost in the sauce? Political stuff. The product is terrible. The physical game works for men because they can dunk. The WNBA should play a fence game. The more they try to play like men, the more lacking their game looks. It's like baseball. If you're not a home run hitter, play small ball for God's friggin' sake. Enjoying the show. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. I just, at this point, you bring in Adam Silver decides, I'm bringing in my guys. Or girl, whatever. You know what I'm saying. I'm bringing in someone that I'm comfortable with, that I can trust, that I know is going to take care of all this BS. If we got to spend more money with lawyers, if we got to turn around and enforce new rules and new we're going to do that. We're going to do that. The other thing, do you think Adam Silver wants coaches to say what Steffi White said? Like, that's another thing that I don't hear anyone talking about. You've basically had a coach. Not basically, you did. You had a coach that is siding with a former player. Almost condoning, advocating for that said player to go out and intentionally try to harm one of her current players. Is there anywhere within the bylaw? I mean, is the league not even looking at that? You're condoning that type of behavior from a coach of a team that, again, it's factual, might not be the best team in the league, but gets the most eyeballs, draws the most attention, earns the most ratings when we're talking about all these games being televised. Their ratings go through the roof. I mean, if I would look into that. I really would. I would absolutely, in all my years, I've never in my life had a coach and a player gets fouled, or a player gets hurt, or a player gets, a cheap shot on the football field, and the player's coach comes out and almost and condones the actions of the opposition. And Amber Cox is not going to do anything about it. She's not going to do anything about it. I mean, my God, she needs to go, and so does his head coach. You can't teach stupid. You can't. You can't allow your head coach of a prominent franchise in this league with prominent faces on your team, 3 very damn good players. Okay? Well, 2 out of 3. Cunningham's a role player, but you know what I'm saying. She's a prominent face. But Mitchell, Clark, and stand up there and have the face of your franchise put her hands over her face. She's embarrassed at your comments. I'm telling you, I am absolutely telling you, this nonsense, you got to shut it down, man. You got to shut it down. If I'm these players, I refuse to take the floor tomorrow night. I'm not playing for this coach, but how the league doesn't pull this coach to the side and say, that's not the look we want. That's not the look we want. The best thing she could have done yesterday, or the other day, Saturday, the best thing she could have said, which would have been a 30-second, not even 25 seconds, is saying exactly what I said yesterday. She answers the questions. I know Carrington. I coached her. She's a physical player. That crossed the line. I don't condone it. Yes, she deserved that flagrant 2. Good for Sophie for standing up. We've got their backs. And if the follow was, do you believe it warrants a suspension? I'll let the league handle that. But to me, that was not a basketball play. That's almost saying, in coach speak, she deserves to be suspended. When yet you have other coaches coming out and saying the referee effing sucks, and I don't hear anything from the league. That they allow it. Bad look all around. Bad look. Absolutely bad look. They don't define what a woman is. Discrimination is an issue that brings in discovery, which will just be as interesting as Sophie's new book. I mean, listen, she might burn the league to the ground. She might lead. It's the league's already going to implode. What's going on, Heather? The league's already going to implode. Rich, why do you think I'm hated so much? I call out BS because I'm tired of the masses nodding like friggin' bobbleheads when others spew dry. Pete, I don't know. Do you want me to defend you? I don't think you're hated, Pete. I think you are I would say a harmless troll at times, but I do believe, to be fair, I believe you do bring up some valid points. Not a lot of times on the chat, but sometimes when you comment on some of the videos. There should not be hate in this chat. There should be an equal opportunity trolling. There should be, like I said, troll me. Don't troll each other. Question opinions. Let's go. Let's have fun. I don't think it's hate. I think, Pete, you have this innate ability to get under maybe said Fever's fan skin. So I applaud you for that. It's not hate. It's not. It's not. It's not. And listen, remember too, because I know you're a movie guy, but just remember, just like in The Godfather, look, not hate, fear, right? Maybe they just fear your line of thinking, Pete. I don't know. Maybe they know. No one's above reproach. No one is. Conflict. Without fans, there's no league. Hard to watch a sport when you feel like you could outplay those you are watching unless you're watching your kids play. What's worse? Team gambling or texting during the game? The gambling thing was a horrible look. The gambling thing's a horrible look because that same night, Paige decides to not shoot the basketball. And we already saw what happened a month ago when that fan bet Gray's over, and I think she scored 9.5 and the over was 12, or maybe he played the under and it was 9.5 and she scored 12. I mean, just for transparency's sake, and decided to just go off on just racial hate messages, which is unacceptable. Yeah, he needs to lose his job. He needs to get called out. He needs to be exposed. And remember, we spoke that day at great length how the players need to handle that kind of stuff. Sometimes you can't feed the trolls. You can't feed the masses. You got to let them expose themselves. You have to. Kathy wanted to police the internet, but no, that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. Independent Aquaman chiming in. WNBA's rule doesn't outlaw texting during games. I read all 99 pages. Should it be in the book? Hold on a second. Hold on. So we're not talking about during the game, but the rule book does state, okay, that you don't go back to the locker room. I remember I brought that up yesterday. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. We literally went through that. If you're being fair, the rules, even though they might be messy, but by definition, she should be suspended. She should be suspended. And the fact that some of this media, like I said, I'm not even going to get in. I'm not even going to give them the airtime. I'm not. That they're defending it, they need to get off the TV. According to the WNBA rulebook and media policies, ejected players must retreat directly to the locker room. League guidelines also prohibit personal electric devices usage or online posting until, now this is key, mandatory post-game media duties finish. So because this goofball decided I have to run and let everyone know I'm not a dirty player and posted what she posted on social media right after her ejection, that breached league communication rules. By definition, she needs to be suspended. But again, this is the W we're talking about, where anything goes. Caitlin Clark blows kisses to her family and friends. She gets teed up. Caitlin Clark baptizes a friggin' newborn that just basically falls out in section 201 and she christens the baby. She gets a T. This league, there's zero rhyme or reason. None. None. This girl needs to be suspended for the entire season. I would say 60 to 70% because of the foul and then 35% because she was a shit stir afterwards and went on social media and tweeted out what she tweeted. That's why rules are in place. And I'm telling you this, as much as some people don't want to hear this crap, as much as some people don't like what I'm about to say, here's the facts of it, and this is the truth. And I don't believe that I'm off when I say this. I'm not. She sought out Cunningham. She sought her out. She said, here's my opportunity to lay her big mouth out. Don't be naive. That's exactly what she did. How does Cunningham feel knowing her own coach doesn't have her back? How does the whole team feel? I am wondering, again, because I know people don't like, I don't know what the hell word some people were using, but the what if scenario, the speculation. If Mitchell gets hammered like that and White backs Mitchell, it's a shit show. It's a firestorm. It's another reason she needs to go. There's no trust. You've lost trust. I cannot play for you. I can't trust you. You're not looking out for my best interest. You don't care about me. It's agenda driven. I'm playing favorites. I don't want to cross that line. You know, I don't know if certain players might not be here next year, but I can tell you this. If I kissed their ass, if I kissed their fanny, and I let them get away with whatever the hell they want to get away with, maybe they'll resign in the offseason and I keep my job. I don't know. Coaches need to have players' backs, period. Coaches need to always protect their players. Players are not put on this earth to protect the coach. They're not. They're not. They're not. They're here to play. But the coach's role is to not only coach, but you have to protect your players. You have to lead by example. Players get paid to play the game. And players get paid handsomely if they're successful and they're playing the right sport and they're in the right position and the right market and they're successful. The coach's job is to put out the best product on the floor. The GM compiles the roster, the coach and the GM agree to it, they sign off on it, you get your team, you coach them up, you stick them on the floor. I don't care if it's all green, blue, purple, yellow, white, black. I don't care. The best five, you stick their asses on the floor and you go. But you're also hired to protect them. And protecting doesn't mean jumping off the bench. Protecting means when a player nearly gets her head cut off, clean from her shoulders, and it's a dirty foul, you come out and the first thing you sit there in the media is, I want to address the Carrington foul. First and foremost, we're happy and thankful Sophie's okay. Second of all, there's no place in this sport for that type of play. I coached her. I know her. She has to be better. Yeah, she's a physical player, but that was a dirty play. Now, do I agree with the flagrant 2? 100%. Was an ejection warranted? 100%. Is the league going to suspend her? I'll leave it up to the league. Any questions? That's how you lead. That is how you make sure your players have your back. By saying that. You don't sit there and basically condone and give a free pass. You don't. It's a fireable offense. It goes deeper than just how many games you won or how far you took this team or the X's and O's. You cannot have a coach that thinks like that. You can't, because I got news for you. The other thing is this. When we talk about players that have attitudes, or players that go on social, or players that are disruptive, or me, you know, all about me, not genuine team players. Especially in the NFL, you hear the phrase, you know, he's a cancer in the locker room. He's not a team guy. Well, now all of a sudden, you're an impending free agent. You got an opportunity to go somewhere and cash in. Players, okay, that act like that, more times than not, have a hard time finding work or getting paid what they think they deserve to get paid because coaches, GMs, and owners see that. In the NFL, I get it. It's a little more wiggle room. But perfect example, you're seeing what's going on with Ayuk in San Francisco. He's turned off a bunch of teams. That's why no one's making a move for him. The me, the diva wide receiver. You can't win with me. You can't win without me. I want to get mine. I want my catches. The quarterback sucks. He stinks. He's overthrowing me. Man, nobody wants that kind of nonsense in a locker room. Players check other players for that. So now, again, think about this. If you're a player and you're saying to yourself, man, I would love to go play with Indiana. I love that fan base. I like K. Mitch. I love Caitlin Clark, but I'm not sold on that head coach. You're watching that. And as a player, you're saying, I don't want to play with Indiana. That coach doesn't have their back. So for everyone yesterday defending her actions and saying, you know what, lay off, Rich, lay off, Q. It's not that big of a deal. It is beyond a big of a deal. It is, again, I don't care. Even if your player is in the wrong, there's ways to defend him or her. She had an opportunity to build equity with the fan base. She had an opportunity to build a little more trust with her players. I believe no matter what, either Clark's gone or she's gone at the end of the season in the offseason. I don't care about Epic. I don't care about I don't care. It's not working. But she chose to take a different path. She chose to curry favor with a former player. And you see some of her former players, how they play in this league. That's your coaching style? That's the game of basketball you're teaching? I don't want any part of it. I don't. I really don't. TV chimes in, all the owners must gang up against the Seattle owners, force them to sell their ownership because that's very unprofessional and rude. You're talking about what transpired a couple weeks ago, which was another absolute disgrace. Another disgrace. But this is the league. They pick and choose. That's all. They pick and choose. It's not run properly. It's not run professionally. Total Strange Takes. What's going on, brother? Had to take the weekend off from the WNBA. Not a problem. I might not watch a game all week. This extra nonsense makes it hard to watch. It does. It does. By the way, tomorrow I'm going NFL, so I'm just giving you guys a heads up. That's all. I'm just giving you a heads up. But I had to bring up the Kanter stuff today. I had to because it's comical. It really is. It's comical, but it also is very telling where we're at with this league and the society. Kenny K, get ready for it, folks. Sophie did a similar thing last year and didn't get suspended. Argument is coming. Buck off. She got ejected. She should have been suspended. Here's... I think I'm more mad, full transparency, that they allowed the player to tweet what she did and there's no ramifications. Because isn't image everything? And I also thought sometimes you do have to have a little more decorum. And that foul to me, when you consider the player and you consider what this current player has said, and now the player basically puts 823, meaning rematch coming. Do you see where I'm going with this? I mean, this girl is a dangerous player. She's a head case. She's a dirty friggin' player. She basically has already put a bounty on Cunningham. She's already done it. She's already done it. And the coaching, you're gonna allow that? She's already done it. She can't wait. She can't. So what happens when she takes a shot at Cunningham and Cunningham decides to swing and crack her in the friggin' jaw? Then you know what happens? You have a benches clearing a brawl, and you have fans that rush onto the floor. This is why she needs to get suspended. Because she is basically saying, I'm going to crack her again when I get a shot. That's exact. And if you don't believe that, you're clueless. It's exactly what she's saying. I can't wait to come out on the... She's not thinking about the game. She's not thinking about being competitive. She's not thinking about playing hard and getting a W because, again, it's ego-driven. It's me, the pettiness, the insecurity, the lack of maturity, the selfishness. 823. That's it. 823. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You can get the coach out of here and you can get this friggin' player out of here. I'm tired of it. And get the friggin' commissioner out of here. And the sports media, you are piss poor. You gutless friggin' rats. You gutless friggin' rats that just allow this shit to go on and you placate, you kiss ass because it's a little good old girls network. Disgusting. You are the problem. Stick Stacey Dales because she shut a lot of people up when she was on the rat ship. That jerk off that turned around and mentioned Caitlin Clark 12th or 11th best player. The other idiot, whatever, Elle Duncan, whatever the freak she talks about. And then McNuts and the rest of them. Get them off the TV. Get them off the TV. They are flat out race baiters. They don't think. They don't have genuine thoughts from the heart. It's all about race to them. That's it. That's it. If you don't fit what their description in their mind is, if you don't act, look, play, sound, say the part, they piss on you. That's all they do. They're a friggin' disgrace. They don't deserve to be behind a microphone. Keep imploring them, and you know what? I'm going to keep exposing them. I'm going to keep calling them out. You can't allow a player to post what she posts and get away with it. You can't. You just can't. You don't understand what kind of message that is sending. It's got to stop. It has to end. And again, just can we once take responsibility? Sometimes it goes such a long. I know people are passionate and they're heated and competitive. I'm all for it. But then you allow it to fester and then you're not thinking clearly. And it's like rage. It's being vindictive. It's flat out, you're looking for vengeance. You're looking for blood. My frustration was with the foul and then the doubling down with the tweet. In a world we live in, once in my life before I leave, I would love someone to sit there and say, I shouldn't have tweeted that. I shouldn't have said that. You know what? Yeah, I fouled her hard. I deserve to get ejected. That's on me. I got to know better. I got to be better. I'm a physical player, and I cracked her. And if the league suspends me, I'll deal with it. It's called accountability, man. And maybe because I'm older, when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, you think you're invincible. And you look at the older people that are trying to impart some wisdom and you're like, get the hell out of here. Go back on, go back sipping your little lemonade or your little tea on the porch. I don't want to listen to you, right? Young guys never listen to their dads. They never do. We all know sons were put on the earth to what? Aggravate their fathers. But then as you get a little older, you start to hold yourself accountable. You start to understand the real world. There's when you have a certain behavior and you act a certain way or you say certain things that are just, on another level of just goofiness, or you are advocating for hate, or you basically come out with false claims, and you really are just doing damage, and you're not coming from a good spot, a good, a good part of your soul or your heart, and you're disruptive, and you're nasty, and you are a shit stirrer, and you are the problem. You're not a problem solver. You start the problem. You got to be checked. You got to be held accountable. And you also have to wake up one day and say, you know what? Yeah, it is me. Like, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe it is me. Like, it's not about racial injustice. It's not. Right? Because, again, don't frame this call, right? It's like, no. It was a flagrant 2. She was airborne. She got drilled. she deserved the ejection, and because she doubled back, not only because it was such a hard, volatile, violent foul, it warrants a suspension, she also broke league rules, and she tweeted what she tweeted when she wasn't even supposed to use her phone, but she is posting hate, divisiveness. That's all that is. That's all there is. All you got to do is look at the WNBA guidelines. What are they waiting for? There's no context. Review it and hand down the penalty. And someone got to Carrington's ear because if you notice, social media, set to private, stepping back a little bit. Yeah, because you already put your foot in your mouth twice. She's going to play tonight. So I get no suspension. It's just the league keeps doing this to themselves. They keep doing this to themselves. And you've got a player in Cunningham that is extremely vocal. Cunningham, I got news for you too. Sophie Cunningham doesn't need to play in this league. She doesn't. She doesn't. I can tell you this right now. If she decided, if no one signed her, she can play a little. She can go overseas if she wanted to. If she wants to model, if she wants to do endorsements, she can go. Barstool would hire her. Outkick would hire her. She would have a podcast and make more money doing that than she would in this friggin' league. She doesn't need to play in this league. But she decided, she spoke out for her convictions. Now, when she doesn't get signed, are we going to sit there and say the league's blackballing her? Are we going to have that conversation? Because I can tell you this right now. She might even be setting it up for, I'm going to play it out this year, and that's going to be it. I'm going to play it out, and that's going to be it. She's an unrestricted free agent. She signed a 1-year contract for, I think, $600,000. That's it, fully guaranteed. As soon as the season ends, they're bouncing the playoffs. She can do whatever the hell she wants to do. It'll be very fascinating to see if Indiana signs her, re-signs her. I don't think with this current regime they will. So then what happens when we know she can be a decent role player? She obviously has a following and a fan base. You got kids, you got families, you got friends, you have hanging signs around, supporting her. What's going to be the narrative? What's going to be the topic of conversation when a league doesn't sign her and we turn around and say it's because of what? What she believes in. Then what do we do? Then where are we going with the conversation? See, you can't have it both ways. You can't. And this is where I try to be a little different in what I'm doing and my type of show. Because you'll get it one side with other shows and talking heads and content creators, but you won't get both sides of the coin. Are they going to blackball her? I don't know. I don't know. DB, you didn't get the notifications. We fired off at 2:15. Issue with Sophie's comments only happened when the WNBA was being exposed for their players gambling on their own nonsense. No. She you already heard some of the stuff that she was talking about. She's vocal. Sophie Cunningham is vocal. She has an opinion, and I appreciate that. I admire that. But, you know, the MO is that she's kind of the on-the-court protector. Right? But she competes. But she has also been extremely outspoken the way they've guarded Caitlin Clark. And that's why, like I said, I mean, she, you know, the one thing I like about her, maybe I can relate to it sometimes, you know, she'll shoot and then fire. We've all been there. That's why she speaks out without hesitation. She's good for the league. She's not dangerous. She's good for the league. She is. She's good for the brand because now you've got someone that's not afraid to be, you know, unapologetic. She's going to have an opinion, but she's going to be fair about her opinion. She's going to be genuine. She's not coming from a nasty place. She's not. She's just not. As much as the media tries to paint her like this anti-trans person, just a person who's full of hate, she's not. She really isn't. And they try their damnedest to get her, and she's not buying it. She really isn't. She's smart. She's got street smart. She knows exactly what she's doing. She doesn't need to play in this league. She doesn't. Barstool would pay her a couple million a year to do a podcast. She's good. She's good. She's flat out good. That foul was so obviously intended to injure. I can't believe this beast is not being suspended. She's got to be suspended. I mean, I'm not going to call her a beast. I mean, a player. She's got to be suspended. 100%. She's got to be suspended. It was a dirty play by the player. She knows that. It's her body of work. And it's with the current head coaches. That style of play. The extra bit is wrong. It's instead of ruling a media, not players or coaches. No, I actually read it. I read it. She should not have used that phone. But again, we can split hairs. Let's just split hairs for a minute. The bottom line is she needs to be suspended and she needs to be held accountable not only for the foul but for the tweet. It's a fair point, but hold on a second. We know this is a league that writes its own rules. That was a nasty, nasty, hard foul. That was not a basketball play. It was not a basketball play. You watch this. You tell me. I mean, you do this on the blacktop, you're going to get your jaw broke. Yeah, I mean, look, that's as nasty. I mean, that's like when they clothesline Rambus in the finals. Remember that? You go airborne, you can't control your body, and then you got to listen to ESPN basically blame Sophie Cunningham. The player's got to get suspended for the foul and then for what she... I just don't see any other way around it. I don't. You want to make a statement, make a statement. That's not going to be tolerated. You're basically pushing hate. You're pushing hate in a league that advocates against it. You're condoning it. And did you see now that you have the lieutenant governor of Indiana coming out and basically saying White needs to go? Should be suspended both for targeting Sophie and for writing the hate she did while in the locker room. Wouldn't matter where the text, what she texts is wrong. Correct. I actually posted that. I actually put that on on the YouTube channel, on my channel, on Rich Q and Q. Don't forget, hit the notifications and subscribe. I actually put, should she be suspended for dirty foul and tweet? 30% said right now, suspend her the rest of the season. 40 said rest of the season for foul, fine her for tweet. And then 30% said, well, the option was Q, we know the league is going to do nothing. And you guys might be right. You guys and girls might be exactly right. But you got to send a message. And I think at this point, the reality is knowing that this commissioner's gone, there's a couple weeks left of the season, a month or two left, and you got the playoffs. I don't think anything's going to be done. I really don't. And my fear is that when these two teams play again, it's going to get ugly. And then what do? She fouls Cunningham again, or Cunningham takes a little exception and it's kind of been festering and she gives her a little elbow in the chops. You're going to suspend Sophie? Because it's just kind of like lingering, right? No. Sarge chimes in. Q, I've always respected you for 20-something years listening to you on your radio, but I think you've beaten that horse to death already. It was only a tweet. Nope, that's where you're wrong. Nope. Sorry. That's where you're wrong. You guys don't like the other side of the coin. You don't. And that's why people commented what they commented. We don't like to have those conversations because it makes people uncomfortable. I mean, like I said, with all due respect, Maybe it's not the show or channel for you. You guys listen to me long enough. Those that have listened to me for years know I have an opinion. And when I say something, it's not, for clicks or to get the phone lines lit up. You can't allow players in a league that already has divisiveness, that already has hate, that already has toxicity, that has the velvet rope, gay, straight, black, white, lesbian, straight, doesn't matter. This is not a league where every player respects each other. They just don't. There's zero respect on the floor. Zero respect. I mean, you played. We played street ball. We played on the blacktop. We played in college, maybe JUCO, maybe other leagues. We played growing up, man. That kind of foul, that's not a no blood, no harm foul. You pull that shit on the blacktop, I tell you right now, you are getting cracked in the friggin' jaw. That's how you end a career. If she lands on her neck, she lands on her head and breaks her back, breaks her neck, then what? People are going to sit there and say, stick this kid in jail. If you sit there and say that's a hard basketball foul, don't skirt the issue, don't be soft, the league is supposed to be physical, then you are the problem because you're condoning that style of play. And that style of play ends careers. That style of play makes already rabid, goofy fans go nuts. That style of play can become very toxic, very divisive. It's not a basketball play. It's just not. It's bad enough we come on every other day and talk about how they guard Clark. It's bad enough this player has a track record of doing this, of raking across the eyes, pulling a girl's friggin' hair, then clotheslining another player. And you're going to sit there and condone it? Again, White, the head coach, and the league does nothing? No. At this point, I don't give a shit what Sophie did last year. I'm looking at the body of work. You are a habitual offender. You're not a first-time offender. You get pulled over once, okay, you had a couple, I'm going to let you go. You get pulled over a second time, you had a couple, but you blew something, right? You get pulled over a third time and you blew a 2.0 and you're 2 times over the legal limit, you're losing your license. She's a dirty player. She's a punk. She's a punk. She is a dirty player. There's no place for that. And then she's got the audacity to go on social media and play the friggin' victim. I mean, if I was her, the smartest thing she has done, stay the frig off social media. Keep a phone away from her. But see, players and people like that, they can't resist. They have no discipline. None whatsoever. It might last a day or two, but eventually she'll be right back on social. And if the league decides to hand down a suspension, you know she's going to tweet about it. You know when they interview her, she's going to play the victim, the martyr. There's no place in sport for that. None. None. And you can't rely on the media to report objectively because you got a bunch of these talking heads that have their heads up their culo that sit there and say what? Well, if Cunningham really, if she didn't really jump up in the air like that. Well, she's trying to drive for the basket for a layup. What do you want her to do? You can't get out of your own way. And I'm so happy this lieutenant governor came out and is calling for White's head. I am absolutely 100%, I'm beyond satisfied that this is happening. Now, I don't need Congress to come into play. I don't. I don't need Congress to come into play. JD chimes in. Q, I know you mentioned Miles and Wilson. You really believe it's a 2-team race. You're talking about the MVP, JD. Yeah, 100%. 100%. It is a 2-player race right now in the MVP. 2-player race. And we already know that very hard to win. Only 2 guards have ever won. Only 1 rookie has ever won MVP. Very, very, very. But call for what it is. And by the way, how about, last night you had some very good games. You had ridiculous scoring. You have to get, to me, yeah, McBride, Miles, definitely in the MVP conversation. Beyond in the conversation. And I still go back and look at what she did when Collier was out. She carried that team. She carried that team. I forgot today was Monday and I was on the air yesterday. Sometimes, you know, you lose. How about McBride last night? Would she go for 43? Let me just see the lines real quick. Fever are laying 4.5. That'll be an interesting game tomorrow at home. Let's check out the lines for tonight. Chicago is a slim. You know what? I like the Storm at home tonight. Even though they've dropped, what, 7 in a row, 8 in a row, 9 in a row. They've been horrible, but they play hard. They haven't won a lot of games. How many have they lost? 11 in a row? You know what? I'm going for the upset tonight. Why not? Let's do it. Let's throw a couple shekels on the Storm. Let's do it. I think we have to. Let's ride the young team trying to close it out. I think the players on Indiana are really hurting their career. KM, CCAB will be good, but everyone else is going to have a hard time finding a job after this season. You're just basing that on just production talent? AB is an enigma. I don't know what's going on with her. Mitchell, we know she can score. She's a volume scorer. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. Sophie needs to stop backing CC, who has not had her back during any of this, after Sophie was the only one who stood up for her. I don't know if you can make that claim. I don't. I don't know if you can make that claim. I just believe there are some players that are vocal and there are some players that are not vocal. And I don't believe that Clark is a vocal player. And I think she understands that, you know, her play, she speaks the loudest with her play. And you got to remember, too, Cunningham is a role player. She comes off the bench. She's not a starter. So she's kind of like, you know, if a Lambier, that type of player coming off the bench, a little enforcer, right? He's going to be the protector. Cunningham's a protector. So you got the cash cow in Caitlin. And you know, people will clip up certain things on social, and then we'll come up with our own opinions, you know, why she didn't get the high five, you know, did she look her up? They're fine. I think you get to the point where you're almost immune to it. There's no more sticker shock. They respect each other. They have each other's backs, but it's not defined the way you want it to be defined. Caitlin Clark is not a player that is going to come out and upset the apple cart. It's just not in her DNA. It's not. We ripped her the other day. I did. I said she choked, and then she bounces back and she almost has a triple-double. Her way of answering is with her play, not her mouth. And I'm okay with that. She's never going to be a player that is going to really be braggadocious in your face. It's just not who she was. She's not raised like that. It's not who she is. You got to move past it. She's 24. Maybe later in life, she might have a little more of a stronger opinion or take, but not now. She's just not. She said what she said about the officiating. She did not condone hate. She doesn't condone the physical play. She basically said the league needs to come out and hire full-time referees and train them. She lets her play do the talking. And again, it doesn't really matter at this point what she says, because everything's going to be manufactured by the media. Everyone wants her to sit up there and have a opinion on everything. And I'm going to tell you why the Monica McNutts, the L. Duncans, you know, that other goofball, I forget his name because he's not even relevant, why most of these talking heads want her to have an opinion. Because they're pissed that she's been given the moniker of the face of the league. They're upset that she is Caitlin Clark from the logo, does the commercials, does the branding, the shoe deal, the face. So they believe if you are that, you have to speak on, says who? Where's it written in the bylines bylaws of sport that because you're the face of something, you got to start talking about what? Poverty, famine, social issues, injustice? No. She doesn't have to. If other players choose to speak on it, then let other players choose to speak on it. I mean, who are we to sit there and say, you got to say this, you have to say this? Now, there's a difference if you put something out there, or you manufacture something, or you say something so ridiculous that is spewing nonsense and hate, then yeah, you have to be held accountable for it. But Clark knows she's smart. Everything Caitlin Clark does or says, trust me, she thinks clearly before she says it. She does. And the PR staff, they are protecting her with certain things. But you saw that press conference the other day. As soon as White starts talking about Carrington and she's a physical player and basically giving her a free pass, what did Caitlin Clark do? She went like this. Her actions, not her words, spoke loudest. She's basically, look, if you watch a player do this, when a coach is speaking, like White was, that's telling you. That is telling you she doesn't trust this head coach. She doesn't want to play with this head coach. Sometimes players, teammates, they understand where they're coming from. And if they can make it work, they can make it work. You know, everyone wants the player to run off the bench and get in the other player's grill, and there's your defender, right? There you go. You're not going to allow anyone to bully big brother or little sister. It's just, that's not who she is. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, funny you said this. I got hammered when I said, now what I said is that if you straw polled the league, I bet you 95% of the players say they hate Caitlin Clark. I don't know how you can say she's poison. What, honestly, Pete, like what do you want? What would be acceptable to you? How is she poison more than White? Again, you don't, listen, the coach is there to protect and defend the players. It's not even up for debate. I always love this. Can you believe they didn't come to the quarterback's defense? What does that mean? They don't respect him? No. That's for radio fodder, for talking heads. That's all that is. And maybe it's possible they know that Caitlin Clark can take care of herself. Look at the way she's fouled in this league. Look how they defend her. I mean, to call her poison? Stop. That's why you're getting trolled on the chat. That's a goofy claim. That's not accurate. She's not poison. The coach is poison. Because the coach spews nonsense. The coach allows nonsense. The coach plays favorite. Team will be better off when they get rid of this coach. And she might be better off if she's not with this franchise anymore. Man, you guys are killing him right now, and rightfully so. Unfortunately, in this world, accountability has come to become responsibility for a lot of people. You have to be held accountable. You have to. You have to be held accountable, especially when you say goofy stuff. Exactly, Rich. Her crossover talents are bigger than Caitlin's nut sports. Yes. I know, I'm sorry, like I'm 30 minutes behind. I apologize. Correct. And that's why I think she can turn around. She is a vocal lightning rod. Cunningham is. She looks the part, she plays the part, she can act the part. Barstool would hire her for $2 million a year. She'll model, she'll get her endorsements, she'll do a book, she'll be on friggin' Outkick, she'll be on Fox News, 100%. She'll be that advocate. Yep. She doesn't need the game of basketball. And part of me thinks she's setting up, looking long term. She's playing the long game. If we're really being honest, she's playing the long game. Because unless you really follow this league, or if you followed, Cunningham, you probably, if you're new to the league, you probably, you didn't realize, like, look, Sophie Cunningham's, she's been around. She's going to be 30 years old. She's young. When I say she's been around, she's more than a cup of coffee, right? because she played with Phoenix. She played overseas. I think she played in Melbourne, and now she's with Indiana. So she's 29. She'll be 30. She's not a young kid. She's young, yes, but meaning she might be looking long term. I love to play the game, but I want to inspire. You know, when the POTUS comes out and is giving you your just due, well, I mean, come on, right? So sometimes there is a method behind people's madness, and they are playing the long game. Oh, man, I'm telling you. I mean, forget about a triple-double. I mean, the highlights are going to be ridiculous, right? Remember the movie Jumanji, man? I mean, he's just a Kanter. Let him cook. Let him ring. Let him cook. Absolutely. Triple-double, 55 a night. She's a tough kid. 100%. She is a tough kid. She can handle, again, herself. Pete continues to troll. Anyone have a thought on the lieutenant governor coming in? Listen, you pull that crap back in the day, you are getting your jaw busted. You know it and I know it. What do we got here? I see something I like. Let me pull this comment up. Yep, 100%. I've seen it. I've seen it. You pull that crap, yeah, fist are flying. BB, I don't understand why Sophie Cunningham did not get suspended by clotheslining and face Chip and Shelton. Don't get me wrong. DC was wrong. Treat all the NBA players the same. I'm also going to say the difference is I want to go by track record. I've seen this girl gouge eyes, and I've seen this girl actually pull hair. She's a dirty player. I'm not condoning the play with Cunningham. That warranted a suspension as well. 100%. Warranted a suspension, 100%. She got ejected, right? But I don't know. Michael, be well, brother. Be well, man. I appreciate you, man. Let me get through some more of these. They need eyes on practice to see what is really going on with the fever. So Tanya, I don't think she's in the chat, but she had a very interesting comment. It was almost like a conspiracy theory on how the league is targeting the Indiana Fever. You know, something's off, something's not right, and how some of these players are being set up to fail within the organization. There's a dynamic, there's something going on within this organization that it just does not pass the test. It just doesn't. It's just something's off. Something's off. And that's one of the other reasons that I believe there's no guarantee that a Cunningham wants to resign with them. There's no guarantee that Clark wants to really finish her career with them. And as long as this head coach is the catalyst, you know, we don't know how long it's going to last. We just don't. Oh, phenomenal. 43 last night. Kid was on fire. See, and that's why I get so annoyed, right? Because this league has talent. The league has talent. CC speaks loudest with her game. Can't hear. 33% from three. Low whisper. Yeah, but she also shot them back in that game the other night, Pete. Oh, my goodness. WNBA was good sports to watch until 2024. I agree. 2023 season had no drama at all. I feel like there's, I don't know when did it. Oh, I know. Pete's just trolling. That's all right. That he's harmless. I don't mind. He was throwing movie quotes at me. That's fine. I'm good with that. When did the league become like this bad? Like, when did all this drama happen? Like, seriously. What was it? Is it because of the foul? You know, Thompson and Caitlin. Is it because of the media? And how much is this conjured up? Because every time you turn on the tube, no one's defending Clark. No one's defending Cunningham. The head coach isn't even defending them. I think a lot of this stems after the Thomas foul. You had the Congress come into play. Adam Silver had to inject, right? And the Brondello stuff, the Gray stuff, you know, now the Carrington stuff, the Cunningham comments, that one reporter that is such a friggin' shit stirrer, that is always pushing the trans stuff, the trans angle with the players, trying to get them to bite. The media doesn't help because they're extremely toxic. So they're not helping the cause, right? I don't think they can keep it just to basketball, the league itself. I don't. I think some of these players just, they have too much hate pent up. They have too much hate pent up. For some, I also believe that a lot of these veteran players pull younger players to the side and they want to test them. They want to test them. They want to see if they're going to go along to get along. Mike chimes in, Ohio. Q, excellent point. She's definitely playing the long game, Cunningham is. I believe that. Repeat offender. That's one of the reasons that you have to suspend her. And yet the league is still quiet. Does that not bother anyone? Vanderbilt 2.0. That's why 9 to 10 players dropped off. And the GM's not going to do anything. It's got to be frustrating. Like, I'm not even a Fever fan. I just like the game of basketball, as you guys know. But I can tell you, I remember, like, the nonsense with some of these head coaches. Like, even as a Giants fan, which I haven't had a lot to cheer about over the last several years, decade plus. But point is that they go from Coughlin, who won 2 rings, then they turn around and they go to, a McAdoo, which is, you know, he was a debacle, which is oversized Denny's playbook. Then from McAdoo, you go to Shermer. That was a jerk-off, right? Who decides, let's bench Eli. Then you go to Joe Judge, who comes from the Belichick tree. I mean, Giant fans forget Joe Judge coached the Giants. That was a disgrace. You had to get rid of him because he was toxic. Then you go to Dayball, that never really backed his players, and he never backed his quarterback. And then he lost his job. So I understand what it's like to have bad head coaching and how it can be frustrating. But I would never want a head coach that does not defend the players. I would never want a head coach that doesn't back the players. And there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it. I can't imagine an NFL head coach who might lose a quarterback to an ACL injury because of a nasty hit by the linebacker after the whistle or drove right into his knees, defending that linebacker because he coached him in college or he coached him earlier in his career. I can't imagine if an Andy Reid did that, if a Harbaugh did that, if a Carroll did that. I can't. If a Peyton did that, I cannot for the life of me. If a Dan Campbell, you know, if you come out and you do that, you've lost the locker room. That locker room, it's beyond divided. Nobody wants to play for you. They don't trust you. So when you guys sit there and say, well, the players have to defend the coach, that's not their job. Their job is to play. The coach's job is to coach, but also protect the players. Protect the players. And if they can't do that, they don't earn the right to coach. That's all. That's just the way I see it. And now you get this lieutenant governor. I mean, how about this? For all the Steffi White supporters out there, lieutenant governor has come into play. Calling for White to be fired. Get her out of here. It's a bad fit. It is a bad fit all around. It'll be fascinating to see how the rest of the season plays out. It'll be fascinating to see if Congress comes into play. It's going to be hilarious if other former NBA players come out and they start pushing all this. By the way, you saw that Indiana signed Russell, right? Now, just to let you know, Russell was the same player in 2024 that kind of laughed at a social media comment when one of our friends questioned the Seattle coach because they were going through a coaching change. So it's all about bringing in character people, right? If you're Indiana. Ken chimes in, Q, I just don't understand why everyone's dancing around the tweet. I just, the Monica McNutt, Kenny boy, I appreciate you, brother. It's just, she's got to go. She is everything wrong with the sports media. And like I said, you've got 3 or 4 clowns up there, and no one's going to challenge anyone's opinion. I mean, you're blaming Cunningham for the foul. Oh my God. Marcy chimes in, Q, thank you so much. I listened to your show the other day. I did not want to comment in for fear of backlash, but I can't believe exactly what you said. A lot of us are thinking it and needed to be said. If the roles were reversed, Cunningham would be banned for the league for life. Keeping it real. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. That's it. And I know some people do not want to address it, but it is what it is. It really is. If the roles were reversed, they would say ban her, suspend her. She's the shit stirrer. Look at her views on X, Y, and Z. Get her out of the league. And from what I read, this girl actually had a pretty decent upbringing, right? Educated. I don't know, to be honest, what people think sometimes. I think we are so insecure at times that we have to figure out a way to make ourselves appear different in the eyes of social media. Like you on social media, 99% of the people on social media, family and friends, they're all full of shit. Al chimes in, Q, you are the best, brother. Quit playing the race card, everyone in the WNBA. That's the quickest way to lose fans. Just play ball, Q. I'm loving the show. Thank you, Al. But you go on social media, and, I mean, everyone's full of shit. No one believes half the stuff you shouldn't read or believe half the stuff you see. You really shouldn't. But for some reason, we are, we want to present ourselves or state our case and defend ourselves right away. And, you just can't do that. Look, everyone's going to have opinions on players. And because you have a lightning rod or lightning rods of players, some players are going to face more criticism than others. And we see it in the chat. The chat is full of passionate fans that will side with a player, will be pro player, will be against a certain players, right? And we also know that some in the chat have an agenda towards other players or against other players. Like I said, opinions vary. You're allowed to have your opinion. But there are some things that can't be disputed when you talk about certain players. And when you bring up a player like Caitlin Clark, you talk about her impact off the floor, off the court, that's undeniable. We do forget she's 24. See, we can push other stats with other players and everyone goes crazy. But for some reason, when we throw Caitlin Clark's stats or records or double-doubles or how many points, or the three-point shots or getting her teammates involved, making Mitchell an all-star, having her in the MVP conversation, putting up 45 and 10, double-double, triple-double, everyone wants to kind of poo-poo that. And it just, to me, she is not treated fairly in this league. If you go back, the double standard, Cloud hit and grabbed a ref, no technical. That's the same ref that gave Caitlin Clark a technical for accidentally bumping into her for trying to save the ball from going out of bounds. So you might not like her antics. You might not like, but I can't blame her for having a little dog and fighting her because she's probably tired of it. She probably feels like now, you know what? Hey, man, let me give them what they want. Let me, like Jimmy Connors back in the day. Aaron Crickstein, right? 89-90 U.S. Open. Let's give them what they want. You want a show? I'll give you a friggin' show. Are you not entertained? Like, she's probably getting so friggin' tired of it. So she wants to have the little extracurricular activities. She wants to be a little braggadocious on the floor. She wants to wave, clap, point. Okay, if you're going to keep pulling that shit and defending me like that and calling the game against me like that, I'm going to give it right back to you. That is when, for those that sit there and say she's got to be vocal, that's her way of fighting back. That's her way of fighting back. Like I said, it's utterly ridiculous. A ball goes out of bounds, or she's trying to save it under baseline, goes under the basket. She touches the ref and she gets a T. Stop. Stop. That's utterly ridiculous. But we gloss over it. This league is corrupt. It's corrupt, and I honestly believe part of these referees are getting handouts. They're being paid to call a game a certain way, and I don't care if it sounds like clickbait. I'm just telling you what I think. There's no other explanation. None. None. It just, for the life of me. And now the league is starting to rescind credentials. They're picking and choosing which people can cover certain teams. They're cracking down on that now because they know it's gotten out of hand. Cindy Brunson, go away. Sitting there saying she doesn't deserve a flagrant 2. What the hell? What are you watching? I've seen this player pull hair. I've seen this player rake players with her hands and then stare them down. She is a dirty player. She's a punk. She's a punk. She is a dirty player. There's no place for a player like that in the league. I've seen her kick a player. She's dirty. She does whatever she wants. And then she cries the victim, get out of here. See ya, suspend, ban, go overseas, go start your own league. See how fast that works. Now, and then you tweet what you tweet. I'm sorry, folks. Not having it. No place for that crap. None. Madness. It's like the Wild Wild West. Seriously. It's Wild Wild West. These politicians need to do something rather than just talk, talk, talk. All the talk only hurts the players on the team. ESPN is what's wrong with the media. No sports talk. It's bad. And they got no one up there that will challenge. You stick me on there. Mikey D chimes in. He goes, Q, we'll get you on. You stick me on now. It's going to get ugly. Ugly, 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 ugly. Getting there. I don't know. I think, listen, I don't like as long as, look, let's just call for what it is, Pete's just being annoying. He's very anti-CC. But, again, I've had others in the chat, and I don't like banning people. Okay, I don't like banning people, Tina. But I've had others in the chat that I've had to ban because they're playing the race card and they're coming with really nasty stuff. And I don't want the chat to feel uncomfortable. So I always go back, like I said, I get like 600, 700, 800 comments. So I police the comments as I'm doing the show. So I'll have to make a judgment call on that. I don't like to ban people. I like people to have their opinion. But you guys just got to understand, certain people come from a certain place and they're going to try to get under your skin. Just ignore it. That's all. Just ignore it. At the end of the day, it's harmless. As long as you guys are not threatening anyone, period. Miss B, walking the street. What's going on, Miss B? Rich, looked for you this morning. Had to have my coffee without your show, so I can get. That's a bad job by you. Good for you going to work on time. But I sent you the coffee link. If you use the promo code, and I always put it in the show, you get your 20%. What's going on in Vegas, Miss B? You staying out of trouble? I was going to fire off early this morning, but like I said, my voice from yesterday and calling the 13 fights, brutal. Brutal. Tomorrow, I got to go NFL. I have to. I have to go NFL. I need a break from this league. Pam, you blocked that one a long time ago. I can handle listening to someone acting like league needs to be torn down and restarted. I don't think the league lasts. I say within 3 to 5 years, that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. I just don't see it. Having a good year, not an MVP. And remember, too, a lot of our numbers, too, are products of what? Of Clark getting her involved. I love Mitchell's game, don't get me wrong. I've said this on the record 1,000 times. She's fearless. She goes to the basket. Physical player, baseline jumper, foul line extender, little stop and pop. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Wilson plays a dominant center position. Now, you have to contribute. You got to be fair here with Miles because without Kyer, she carried that team. And as a rookie, she's unbelievable. I love her basketball IQ. She basically dog walked Indiana. 3-4 nights ago, whatever the hell it was. And oh, by the way, young dog walked Mitchell, but that's okay. They don't play any defense. But I love Miles. I think she's a phenomenal player. I don't care if she didn't give credit to Caitlin Clark when they played each other. Mitchell had 19 in the first half. She's addressing Mitchell, not Caitlin Clark. I don't give a crap about that. I like her edge, and I don't think she's a dirty player. Kip plays with a chip on her shoulder. She's a rookie. She will win an MVP. It's not going to be this year because the league refuses to give a rookie an MVP. Only 2 true guards in this league have ever won MVP, and only 1 rookie has won MVP. They love the center position. They want that dominant position. Wilson MVP, Miles close second. Agree. Phenomenal. There's talent in this league. That's why I get so annoyed every day. There's talent in this league, but it's not policed properly. There's talent in this league, and if you can flush out the toxicity, you might have a league. But it's not a league. It's pacifists. It's activists. It's like everyone's standing up for social, injustice. Just you're getting paid millions of dollars. Some of you players are getting paid millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars with an opportunity to make more. To play a game you grew up loving. And you want to take advantage of it. You want to take advantage of it. You don't know what you have until it's taken away from you. Because half these players, I don't think they can last overseas. Not the way they play. They don't tolerate that crap overseas. You pull that bully thug ball, that physicality, they're going to send you right back to the U.S. Your ass is on a plane. It is a different game over there. The ball never touches the floor. Ever. Some can play, yeah. Some can definitely play. But I don't think they're all cut out to play over there. I don't. Not ban worthy. Jeff chimes in. Mystics. Yes, she is. Speaking of those fights, Fuentes looks like a comer. Stud. 19 years old. 19 years old. And I said during the broadcast, his opponent's susceptible to those body shots. Yeah, that was a good card the other night. We had fun. All right, not like in Papillon. All right, maybe. I don't think I said the word guillotine. I would say suspend her for the rest of the season. I would. And also, you have to double up because of the tweet. So it's a twofold. Is that fair? Tina KM is not MVP. Not MVP. It's more than scoring. Not taking anything away from her game. She's one-dimensional. I agree with you. She's not MVP worthy. And a lot of her production also comes because Caitlin Clark gets her involved in the offense. Mitchell's a very good player. She's a volume scorer, but she also has lapses. She also takes ill-advised shots. Boston clogs in the lane, doesn't understand spacing on the floor. For a player that shoots 35 or whatever the hell it is, 40-something% from beyond the arc, she's afraid to pull the trigger. This team's not going to go far. Like, I think we gotta write that in, do we not? That's very nice of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you. You can find me on IG at RichQonQ, on X at RichQonQ, TikTok, RichQ on a mic. If you follow me on TikTok, I'm just letting you know, the crazies come out. The crazies come out. They do. They always do. Jake chimes in from Newcastle Q. I love your videos. I love your passion, but you're hilarious. You did the same thing on radio. You have no qualms about checking people. Oh, no, I'll check them with the comments. I don't mind. I got nowhere to go. I work for myself. I mean, I'm busy, but I have no problem checking the commenters. Absolutely none. Because you have to. You have to. And like I said, you got to have thick skin. I don't take it personal. But I'll call you out if you try to come with some nonsense. And we know those because, oh, by the way, they're not chiming in today. The ones that typically get exposed and checked, or you guys check them for me. I don't even need to do it. Like, that's kind of like you guys police the chat, right? It's just kind of like the beauty of it at times. So I'm not sitting here saying go after each other. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if we're going to be fair about it, and if you're going to make a claim, if you're going to attack me, then sometimes I will push back, but I'd rather have a nice debate and discussion, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Wilson, Miles, MVP, all the other runner-ups. Wilson's going to win because she plays the dominant position, the center position. But don't think for 1 minute Miles does not deserve MVP conversation. This kid plays with confidence. She's fearless. She can attack the tin. And she also carried this team. Like, don't get it twisted. It shouldn't even be a debate if she belongs in the MVP conversation. What, we're going to be biased towards her because she's a rookie? This team won 10 games in a row. They trip up the other night. They won 12 of 13. She carried this team, and you knew once Collier comes back, sure, the production's going to drop off a little bit because, again, now you've got another cog that's averaging 19. But you also have McBride on this team, and this kid was still scoring 20, 21 points a game. So it hurts when you have multiple stars or scorers. But if you go back over the last several weeks, this kid's been playing at an extremely high level. And if you're going to criticize Caitlin Clark on the turnovers, yeah, this kid turns the ball over, but she also shoots 58, 49, 52. Hell, she shot 78% the other day when she scored the 28 because Indiana decided to not switch up on her. And they didn't face guard or press her. That's on coaching. She absolutely 100% unequivocally deserves to be mentioned in the MVP conversation. I don't even believe Wilson will win it. She's averaging what? 25? I mean, you can't, you're averaging 25. Miles basically was driving the Lynx to the top of the standings because she's a rookie and she's very stellar. Clark played herself out of the conversation. Buckets played herself out of the conversation. Stewart, with all due respect, no, it's a two-horse race. It is a two-horse race. Unless Wilson really struggles, Miles goes south, and Clark puts up triple-doubles left and right or has a couple 35-point games. Unless Wilson struggles and Miles goes off and she's putting up 28 and 10. And they go on another 5, 6, 7, 8, win streak to close out the season. Other than that, it's Wilson's award to lose. It's her award to lose. It should, when you look at the body of work, when you look at, as a whole, 26, 27 points. And yes, Mitchell, phenomenal. But it's also, well, you have Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark, you have Mitchell. So it's almost like a wash. Cooper, phenomenal season. But you're talking about a key position on the floor, the center position, rebounding, scoring, and blocks. I think she's first in the league in blocks. She's first in the league in scoring. She's a dominant player. The only reason I keep bringing up these other players' names is because maybe my whole opinion was perhaps it's Wilson fatigue. Now, now here's another question. Did anyone else have a problem? Did anyone else have a problem with all these players getting sat out the other day? That's a bad look for the league. That is a really bad look. But Wilson to me is she's just a dominating factor. She really is. She's a dominating presence on the floor. And maybe someone's going to sit there and say, well, she's already won it 4 times. We already know she's a Hall of Famer. Let's give it to someone else this year. We can't ignore this outstanding rookie campaign. But in the same breath, Clark had a phenomenal. I know, I don't know what to tell you. I'm a one-man band here. I know. I would love to get a moderator, but then what happens is, your people are going to say you're picking and choosing. I told you there's 2 other platforms the show might be on starting in the fall, which I think there will be a screener. So I'm not asking you guys to hang tight, but it's a safe place. The chat's a safe place, especially for the new users and listeners. And again, if someone gets out of line, you tag me and then I block them and I address it, because we don't want that kind of nonsense. I can't pay you guys per hour. You guys are too expensive. I don't think Total Strange got blocked. All right, Total Strange, you are not blocked. My God, what's going on? How are you? No, we had to last week. I had to, period, because there was stuff being tossed around that it's not what I'm about, and I don't like that kind of stuff. I mean, imagine if we start taking phone calls. Yep. I actually agree with that. That was kind of my point with Miles. She did it with Collier out, right? Mitchell is the Fever's most consistent and clutch player. She scores nightly and night out. Shooting percentage, field goal percentage, 3-point shooters. Yeah, but you also, let me just make one point. Let me make it one point. She also is the benefit of having a Caitlin Clark on the floor. Because Caitlin Clark, no player is guarded as much as Caitlin Clark. None whatsoever. See, here's a funny, this is great, right? Because I think we mentioned, I don't know, I've been on the air for almost 2 hours. I think we brought up the Kanter for 15 minutes. See? But this is why we allow you to chime in, because you just get exposed. Like you tried to get me on the video. And it ain't going to work. Like I said, brother, that line wraps around the block. Take a number. Miles is impressive. Never seen a rookie like Miles. Phenomenal. But my argument with Wilson was the fatigue, like Michael Jordan. Remember Michael Jordan that year? Right? Michael Jordan kept winning. And then they give it to Karl Malone. I'm old school. No X or Twitter stuff for me. You know what? Save yourself. I'm going to tell you why. It's worse than chats. It's beyond a cesspool. But see, I enjoy it because, again, what I put out there, I stand by it. When people want to comment, they comment. But you wouldn't believe how many people actually get sucked in and believe exactly what they see on X. It's almost as bad as Facebook. That's another reason with Facebook. Oh my God, it's like family and friends. I get it. Little Johnny stood, he pissed. He didn't hit the toilet seat. I get it. I don't need a 24/7 report on little Johnny taking a pee. I don't. It gets nauseating at times. It gets too much. I post my sports stuff. That's what I post on social. I post my sports stuff. I post my interviews, my hoops interviews, my clips, my boxing interviews, my shorts, my cuts, my channel. If I'm doing an event, for marketing purposes, branding purposes, I don't even post like stuff on me. I just don't. It's just not who I am. Never been like that. But man, you go on social. Oh my God, little Johnny. Oh, he walked the dog. The dog didn't bark. And here we go. Oh, he got his, he got his first haircut. Oh. She didn't get guarded in that Indiana game. That's for sure. Besides the game with Aces the other day, I have never seen CC have a lapse. KM gets frazzled on clutch. You can find over a dozen games in the last 3 years she choked, and those are facts. I don't think Clark gets... She makes mistakes. She turns the ball over. I also mentioned, Tina, I don't know if you caught the show the other day, that last possession, it was a bad possession by Caitlin Clark. She had to either know you get the proper clear out and you drive, you go right to the basket, or you do what? You kick it to the corner. But Mitchell also has to clear out and get to the corner. Clark forced the issue, and you're not going to do that against Wilson. And once Wilson dragged out, that was pretty much all she wrote. That was it. And the problem is, if we're going to take Caitlin Clark, now I'm going to be very honest and objective. If we're going to take everything positive that Caitlin Clark does, the negative on Clark, and I don't, the whole defensive thing, I think that's a misnomer, to be quite honest with you. But sometimes she has very bad turnovers, and they're magnified. But that's the type of player that she is. She can have 2 turnovers and miss a couple shots and then knock down a 3 late in the fourth quarter. That's just who she is. That's exactly who she is. She is that type A player where she can go 0 for 6 and then she can knock down 4 out of 5 from beyond the arc and shoot you right back in the game like she did the other day. And then, unfortunately, she had the bad turnover. And she's going to learn from that. She's going to learn from that. She had to put the ball on the floor and go right by the defender. Once she allows Wilson to creep beyond the perimeter and near the logo, that's pretty much all she wrote. That was it. But you'll learn. No player in this league is perfect. No player in this league is the perfect player. They all make mistakes. They all have flaws. They do. And sometimes you take the good with the bad. You live with the fact that on any given night, she can have 25, 30, and 10 assists, and she might have 6 or 7 turnovers. What you can't live with is when she has 7 turnovers and 6 assists. That's not it. That's your plus minus. You're doing damage on the floor. Now, every game is different. Every position is different. If she has 7 turnovers, 6 assists, 16 points, but she rips off 9 straight to close out the game and hits a dagger 3, we're not talking about the turnovers. We're talking about what she did late. Mitchell, same type of player. Mitchell is alpha. She wants her ball. She wants the ball in her hands. But I also think time and place. You got to get her involved early. Boston, 0 confidence in Boston. I'm done. I'm done with Boston. 0 confidence. After she turned around, she didn't want to pull the trigger. And she had 2 lapses. She didn't grab the ball. That allowed Gray to knock down the 3 to go into overtime. And then she didn't even close out, which really bugged the hell out of me. Fundamental, basketball 101, you're the taller defender. I'm not saying lunge lead. I'm not saying that. Get a pull up, get a mid up, try to be disruptive, knowing that she already knocked down a big shot. She didn't do that. So that game, it falls on Clark because that's her lot in life. But yes, it was a team loss, and the head coach did not bail them out. So there's a lot to kind of go around. But I'll take what Clark brings to the table any day of the week. She's a special player. She is a special, special player. So you can throw stats at me all you want. That's fine. But no one's guarded like she is. I mean, she gets fouled a lot. She gets fouled a lot. And when she's double, triple team, they foul her, and sometimes she has bad turnovers. But she's a catalyst on that team. Joey B. Joey, you smoking and joking? Best WNBA team. would lose to boys' high school JV team. All who think WNBA is a good product on the floor are clueless. The soap opera drives their narrative. Wonder how long NBA will keep funding it. Joey coming with a fire. Joey's probably getting fired up for Denver Broncos basketball. Those pesky stats, yes, they are. My stats, they are pesky. They are pesky. Not Pesky's pole, but they are pesky. All right. All right, 2 hours on the air. We got to call some games later tonight. NFL tomorrow. Unless, 17 other NBA players come out and they want to come out early for the WNBA draft. But we want to go NFL. Wednesday, we will be traveling for broadcast and content. So tomorrow, we'll be on the air. Hit the notifications. Hit the subscribe button. If you guys are first-timers, like, comment, subscribe. Keep the chats coming. Comment on the videos. Follow me on social, at RichQ on Q, IG and X, TikTok, RichQ on a mic. But like I said, the best you can do is subscribe to the channel. Share, like, comment. Keep supporting the product. Tomorrow, back at it. Check the notifications. Probably going to fire off afternoon as well. But I want to go a little more NFL heavy tomorrow because college football in the NFL is literally right around the corner, which means we got to start firing up. We got to start talking about these divisions. We got to start breaking down some of these early week 1 matchups. Yes, we do a ton of look ahead. Also, the Back Your Play podcast, that is a sports betting gambling pod. That is on Apple. That is on Spotify. That is on Amazon Music, Buzzsprout, Chaser as well. I'll send the link out for those that follow the channel and subscribe. NFL tomorrow. Off on Wednesday on the road, and then back at it on Thursday. If you haven't watched CP and Draymond try to give AB advice, go watch. I saw that. I did see that. I actually defended Draymond because of some of his takes, and everyone was actually calling him a clown. But I actually defended Draymond Green because he actually knows the game of basketball. I think a lot with AB is also confidence and also understanding spacing on the floor. When you've got 2 guards that primarily want to drive and get to the basket, you got to clear out. That's basketball 101, and I think that's also, Tina, it falls into play with coaching. Yeah, Joey, what do you fire? You fired it up? Did you fire it up, Joey? You are in Denver. We know about Rocky Mountain High, no pun intended. I'm just saying, on a Monday, what do you got going on? You got some Doritos? You got Cheez-Its? Did you hit Wawa? Do you have Wawa out there? Are you smoking and joking? You said you're fired up. I need a little more context to that. That's all. Are you still pissed off that you dropped all that money on vacation? Thank God it's football time. She defensively and doesn't listen to legends. Yeah, but you know what? A lot of young players, or even some players that have been around the block, they don't want to adhere to advice. To your point, they're very dismissive. I've seen that. I've seen clips. I've seen some of these other pods, extremely dismissive, where they just don't want to pay attention. They just don't. Heather chimes in. CC is responsible for majority of the points on the team lately. I think that makes her a candidate for most valuable player. She'll always be in the conversation, but this year it's 2. The rookie year that Miles has had and the dominating season that Wilson has had. I don't believe Caitlin Clark will be an MVP in this league because the league will not allow it. I really, in my heart of hearts, she can have a triple-double and somehow the media will not acknowledge it. The voters will not acknowledge it. There's already a preconceived notion. They just don't like Caitlin Clark. And remember, these are the ones that have cachet and pull. Generational talent, great player. Is she flawed? 100%. Absolutely. Both her and Mitchell, knock down your free throws late in the game. Don't have these bad turnovers. Make your wide open looks, your wide open bunnies. Superstars are often flawed. Great players, they are often flawed. but they're still great players. Larry Bird couldn't defend, right? Jordan had to work on his shot. Miller missed from the line a couple times. Great players are flawed. It doesn't mean they're any less of a great player, superstar. She's a phenomenal player. If in a perfect league, in a perfect situation, a scenario where the league was officiated better, she would go to the line a lot. Think about all these N1s. I mean, Mitchell probably gets to the line. You talk about the most opportunities for N1, it's probably Mitchell because of how she drives to the bucket. She doesn't look for the contact. She invites the contact. Caitlin Clark looks for the contact. She has to stop overthinking, put the ball on the floor and just go. Just go. But she gets fouled a lot, and they don't count a lot of these buckets. And she only plays 29 minutes a game. So I gave you the stats. If she plays 32 to 33, she's averaging another 3-4 points. That gets her average up to 25. Now the conversation changes. Now it does. And the time she played over 29 points this season, the handful of times, she's averaged 24 points, 25 points. So it just boils down to this head coach not making it work. It's a bad mix. And, she turns the ball over. It happens sometimes. But you'd have to go back and watch every single solitary play. And if we're really going to nitpick, we can sit there and say, well, how many times were her teammates not ready for the basketball or the interior pass or the feed inside or on the fast break, they didn't have their head up. It goes both ways. I'm not giving her a pass, but I'm also not bending over backwards to kiss her fanny. Everyone knows I'm a Clark fan, but I'm as real as I can get. I said the other day she choked. I said months ago she needs to mature. She's going to keep getting teed up. She's got to learn how to play within herself. But I respect the hell out of her game. I really do. I think her game's phenomenal. I think she has wonderful court vision. Her basketball acumen and IQ, it's off the chart. She just had a lapse. And I got news for you. It happens. Larry Bird missed a wide open 3 in the corner against the Lakers. The great players missed. Isaiah Thomas, who's a Hall of Famer, had a horrible play out of bounds, right? Players have lapses. Even great college players. Downtown Freddie Brown had a lapse. Jordan hits the shot in the corner, and what happens? Freddie Brown flashes with his eyes, and he thinks it's a teammate of Georgetown, and he throws the ball away to who? James Worthy. Players make mistakes. They're not perfect. No player is. But she also, what did she do? She responded, because that's what great players do. She let her actions speak loudest. She responded with pretty much close to a triple-double. And they got the win, and that's all that matters. That's all. WNBA just annoys me like the bad seats at the new Buffalo Bills Stadium. You see those videos, Bills Mafia got ripped off. I am ready for some football. Oh, you and I both. You and I both. Can't wait. Can't wait for some NFL. Roll Tide. How about this? So, Tina, I will let you know, since you are a SEC, you are a Roll Tide fan, I also host a Emerald Coast weekly show on Destin FM down in the Panhandle, and we do a lot of college football. And I will be sprouting that out on the channel as well. Yes, we will break down SEC, we will break down college, and a lot of the NFL as well. 100%. Another Roll Tide? What are we doing here? Oh my goodness. What are we doing here? We got Longhorn. Oh my God. Where are you guys from? Where are you guys all cooking? Oh, hold on a second. Whoa. Heather, you don't need to give us your exact address. What city are you located in? What should I get at Wawa? Never been. Wow. Where are you from that you've never... All right, I mean, you can go with the classic. You go with the shorty. Go with a little meatball sub. Get a little provolone in there. Maybe a little sweet peppers. Nice little bag of chips. Little Hawaiian punch to wash it down with. I mean, that's, wow. This is a first. I just gotta keep it up there. Never been to Wawa. See, there's not a lot of Wawas down south or the Midwest. A lot of Wawas are the East Coast, right? Now, when I did a broadcast years ago in California, it was the first time I ever had In-N-Out Burger, and I think it was a little overrated. Had Jack in the Box, thought it was a little overrated. I would go with the classic, if that's your cup of tea. Maybe go a little meatball sub, little shorty, little wheat roll, provolone, sweet peppers. You might want to throw in a little bacon in there. That's your cup of tea. I'm just saying, a side of chips, and you'll be all right. People more than the Ben Simmons. Mark chimes in, 65-year Brown fan. Tired of their quarterback. Wow. I think we had this conversation, Mark, because I have a couple other listeners that are from Ohio, and I mentioned that I did a cup of coffee in Ohio in a little town of Kettering in Dayton. I think Paul was from Ohio too, and then Mike, who chimes in on X, is definitely from Ohio. I am not high on the Cleveland Browns, and I'll give you my football thoughts tomorrow on some things, but I've got kind of an interesting parallel with that. I'll eat 2 chocolate chip cookies from the dispensary. WNBA turns into a sitcom by that. Joey, man, you're going with the dispensary. Joey, you strike me as a gummy guy. You do. You strike me as a gummy guy. I picture you kind of sitting in a Hawaiian shirt. Like, you strike me as a lot of snow in Denver, and then for some reason you're rocking the sunglasses, you're walking outside with the tea, and you're wolfing down some gummies. How about this? I like gummies. I make my own cookies and brownie. Oh, my goodness. You guys are funny. Smoking and joking. That's why on a football Friday, it gets crazy. It gets crazy. Tina, there you go. Okay, so all right, there you go. Destin FM. You're good. Destin FM. That's my guy. Billy Martin surfs up in the morning. I do the scoreboard updates. I do the sports updates. Tina, we're gonna have to chat. I know you're not on X. Follow me on IG. Follow me on IG. If you follow me, hit me up. We got to chat about that area, the Panhandle. The water is ridiculous. The water is ridiculous. Tennessee getting a few. Okay. I said the same thing. So, all right, hold on. Joey, do I do it? I know I haven't done it in a long time. I might have to. I don't think we have oh no, you know what? I was trying to look for the breaking news music. Nothing. I can't do the magic twinkle. I can't do I can't do the doorbell. That's going to wake the dog. I can't do the air horn. All right, I'm just going to pull it up right now. Wawa in Tennessee. Wow. Wawa opened its first Tennessee store in Clarksville in June 2026. So I see 1, 2, 3. I see 4. Plus, you've got an opportunity for future growth in Middle Tennessee. So yes, you definitely want to do a little meatball sub, a little shorty, maybe a little Italian. That's fine. You can't go wrong there. Joey knows you can't go wrong there. Especially, I would imagine, too, if Joey probably woofs down a couple gummy bears, he's good to go. And by the way, they have a really nice little Enes section with the tasty cakes, and you got your little fresh donuts. And here's the other thing, Heather. Now, I have to be careful here. Because I got to be careful. This really goes against the rules of radio and broadcasting. Because you're not allowed to plug product like Paoli and Plugoli. Now, everyone knows I love and drink my fresh roasted coffee on the air. Let's just pretend for a moment that fresh roasted, and they love me and I love them, they are not a client. Make sure you go to Wawa in October, because in October, Wawa offers the greatest flavored coffee ever invented. I give you pumpkin spice, which they should actually come up with this law that pumpkin spice should be sold 24/7, 365. Because there's a cutoff. As soon as Halloween's over, right around Thanksgiving, you're done. You gotta get in early and often. Get the K-Cups. Or if you want to, I'll send you the 20% off fresh roasted coffee. Oh, all right, everyone's going to Destin. All right, I mean, you know. Now, Tina, do you go to AJ's? Do you go to Crab Island? Don't know what a Wawa is. Never heard of it. Dayton. So Mark is, you are in Dayton. I slept in my car for 3 days when I lived in Dayton, Ohio. Mark, do you know of a town called Kettering? If you know a town called Kettering, then you know the little stop called Cold Beer and Cheeseburgers. Are you familiar with that? I believe it's still in Dayton. There might be a Polaroid picture of me in there. Just saying. Just saying. Is it? I think it still might be around. I think it still might be around. If it closed, I'm sorry to hear that, but that was a hell of a place. That was a hell of a spot. They would always play my Giant games because I did overnights on the radio station. And then I would drive to Xenia and chop wood. True story. Go Bears. All right. Bears fans. Giants 10-7. Mark it down. No. I've been here for 7 years. Love it. The beaches. Oh, man, I can't wait. The blue water. The blue water. Yes, break. I don't have the sounder. I'm sorry. I don't have the sounder. Yes, breaking news. Correct. Breaking news. 100%. Breaking news, yeah. Pumpkin spice. Are you kidding me? You know what, DB? Get out of here. Pumpkin spice is unbelievable. Take that communist nonsense and get out of here. Pumpkin spice is without a doubt the best flavored coffee in the world. I can, every day, pumpkin spice. Every friggin' day. And the fact that they get so selfish and they stopped serving it, it's utterly ridiculous. I used to, listen, when you get a free cup, when you get in there, I would stop in 4 times, my local Wawa. Gotta go pumpkin pie, pumpkin spice, pumpkin seed, anything. 100%. See, there we go. Yes. Jeez, might have a coffee show. Might do flavors of the month. Q in Kettering, Ohio stint. This may be a new story we haven't heard. Nothing to tell. Nothing to tell. I packed up. Just packed up my belongings. Basically went to News Talk 1290 WHIO. I drove to Ohio and I didn't have a job, but I wanted to do radio. So my friend lived in Cleveland and he's like, oh, come out to Ohio. And I was like, whatever. Packed up my little Pontiac. It was a sunflower, as I used to call it, Joey. Nice and red. Yes. Go ahead. Mock away. Packed up the car. Drove up there. Faked an interview. Didn't leave until they gave me an interview. They had one overnight position available. It was $7.65 to start. I was a overnight board op. And then I would do the sports updates, and I would rip and read off the AP. And then I would basically plug in the programming. And when I would come home in the morning, well, after I spent 3 days in the car living, a very nice gentleman who worked at the TV station saw my Jersey plates and said, I can rent you a room. I said, perfect. The only issue was that I couldn't do laundry at certain times of the day because the house didn't have enough water pressure, which, not a problem. I had a little stove. I had a mini fridge. And he said, just be careful. In the bedroom, it's a little humid. So I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, no worries. I'm from, I was born in New York. I'm from Jersey. We're good. And one night, my second or third night there, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock when I got home, I tried to sleep a little bit. I couldn't because you're working overnights, and your body, if you've ever worked an overnight shift before, your body just doesn't cooperate. So I start to put towels around the windows. So now it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, it's pitch dark, and I feel like something crawling on me. I'm like, what the hell? I don't remember anyone coming home with me. What the hell's going on over here? So I wake up, and it was like a spider. Okay, not a problem. But then I feel another spider. I'm like, okay, he did mention it was humid and moist. But then I feel another spider. I'm like, this shit is not, something's going on right now. Turn on the lights, get rid of all the towels. I move my bed back. Did you ever see the movie Arachnophobia? I moved my bed back in this room, and there must have been 35 black spiders. Some were dead, some were just living their best life. Now, hand to God, did I scream like a girl? Sort of. Did I throw a hissy fit and start stepping on them? Absolutely. I was in full-blown panic mode because I didn't know where the hell they were. I didn't know what the hell parts of my body they got into. And Joey, I didn't even want to know. But I remedied the spider problem. Then I go to the bathroom and I pull the curtain back, and guess what? A couple were there. Figured it out, sprayed, little duct tape, blocked off some holes, and we were good to go. What bothered me the most about Ohio is the area I lived in was very drug infested. Beyond drug infested. I mean, they were doing deals right on the corner. Like all the time. But what bothered me the most is it friggin' snowed in September. I didn't leave Jersey to go to Ohio to have it snow in September. So, yeah. And needless to say, it was a nice little cup of coffee in Ohio. But that is the Ohio story. Living in the car and having to deal with spiders. Not good. Yes, we had to. Thank you, Mark. I'm getting old. I'm sorry. My memory's going. Yes, we had this conversation last week. I appreciate that. I buy 12 extra bottles of pumpkin spice cream in December. There you go. We need a ruling on this Wawa stuff. Where's Angel is MIA, man. Angel is like doing God's work. Kissing babies? I don't know. Pumpkin spice. We got a lot of votes. Crab Island is beautiful. You've been to AJ's? Excellent. Excellent. There you go. Okay. That's good to know. Nice. I will eat pumpkin pie, but only the whipped cream and the crust. I've also never seen the movie Goonies, so... You know, his show totally went off the rails late, but that's okay. Having a little fun, learning about the chat. That's what it's all about. No, Destin is beautiful. Fort Walton, Destin. See, the Miami side is just, it's way too expensive. That's the problem. Mark, I'm telling you, it snowed in September when I was there. It snowed. Can you fact check for me? It was flurries. It was flurries. Maybe it was early October. I don't know, but I'm telling you, I was beside myself. You're the expert. You can fact check me. But I knew at that moment, Mark, my time, it was coming to an end. Plus the fact that I really didn't see eye to eye with the program director. Plus the fact that when Dayton beat Connecticut, now I'm giving you the year, Mark, when Dayton beat Connecticut in basketball and they asked me as the sports guy to come on the air, I said great win for Dayton, but a horrible loss for Connecticut, and that rankled a lot of people. And when they had their tornado, I didn't know how to read a weather report. So let's just say it wasn't a good experience overall. That's all. All right, we're going to start wrapping it up. Football, Manana on a Tuesday. Get in on the conversation. Hit the notifications. We will continue more about the pumpkin spice and the Wawa conversation as well. I love it. The Florida crowd listening, and that's fantastic. Perfect. Yeah, check me out, Destin FM. I do the scoreboard updates as well as the Destin FM scoreboard show. You guys were great today. You hung for 2.5 hours. You guys are unbelievable. Thank you so much. Keep it locked in. Hit the notification. Subscribe, share, comment. Hit me up on social media. You can DM me all you want. Check out the videos on demand as well. Back at it on a Tuesday. A little NFL talk on a Tuesday edition of On Cue. As always, I'm Rich Quinones. Thanks for tuning in. We're powered by our good friends over at Fresh Roasted, Sports 48, Destin FM, Play It Again Sports, and also our very good friends over at SR 1029 FM The Game. Have a good Monday. We'll talk to you mañana. Be safe, be sound. Hasta luego, buen día.